Hey, 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 good morning. You're here. So good to see you. Let's adjust a few things here on camera. So, yeah, yesterday we celebrated my daughter's birthday. If you saw in my Instagram stories and in my Facebook stories, I got a charcuterie board for my daughter because we do a lot of entertaining. And so, as opposed to just doing your standard old you know, meat and cheese and a couple crackers and a dip, we did a full-fledged charcuterie board. So it was a lot of fun, and I researched like how to fold the meats and how to arrange it on the board and the whole shot. And then we had some sparkling wine to go along with it, and some prosecco, and it was delightful. Had jazz. My son was like, "What kind of music should we have for this? This seems kind of classy." And then um, somebody else was like, yeah, classical would be good, but classical seems to be reserved for something else. How about jazz? So we had jazz playing in the background. And it was just a really good time. Everybody had a really good time. We stood around and ate really good food and snacked on really good food, and enjoyed each other's company. So it was a nice break. It was a nice break. Let me see. Capsule wardrobe. Okay, so yeah, yesterday we were going to talk about capsule wardrobe yesterday. And I am not sure. It was user error. It's just like every time there's a crash, the pilot gets blamed. So whoever programmed the live yesterday, which was me, is the person that gets blamed. So I still don't know how I uploaded the wrong video. It'll be played tomorrow. So we'll do a capsule wardrobe tomorrow. Excuse me. Excuse me. So, yeah, that was a mistake, Fiona. Mine. Hey, Kim. Hey, Ruth. Good to see y'all. Let me see. How are we doing on splitting between the two? We're starting to get a lot more people that are hanging out on YouTube. So, they're finding that YouTube is working better. YouTube isn't working for me right now. But then again, I'm broadcasting on all sorts of different areas, so it could just not be loading because it's broadcasting in multiple spots. So, oh yeah, there it is. There it is. Good, good. Hey, Tina. Hi, Beth. There's Rex. Cha-ching. How are you? How are you this morning, Rex? How are things in Louisiana? Yeah, this is a new scarf. Actually, it's a newly found scarf. Let's put it that way. It's been hiding in my closet. So, but anyway, that was my day yesterday. So, what did y'all do? Good to see you. Looking forward to the webinar tonight. I know. It's fun. It's fun. I'm really excited about this group of women going through the Capsule Wardrobe, Unique and Lifetime Capsule Wardrobe program. Everybody's really fired up. Everyone's doing their homework and turning in their homework sheets. And that's been amazing. That's been amazing. Waiting to see Janet. Haven't heard from Janet this morning. Haven't seen Colette either. I hope they're okay. Let me go over here. Double check. Where is the invite button? Okay, well, don't know where the invite button went. You had it yesterday for me, Facebook, but it's not there today. You were the topic of discussion of the highest accolade during my lunch hour with my wife and my mom. Oh, thank you. Well, God bless your wife and your mother. That's very nice. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, and we're excited. What do you guys think about going 5 days a week? Right now, I'm not doing live. What I'm doing is the recordings a couple of days a week, like Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. I will be there in the chat, but there will be no pre-show chat and post-show chat. I'm very mindful of my mornings, and mornings are my highest productivity and creativity time. So I want to go live every day of the week, but at the same time, I realize that the pre-show and the post-show plus all the editing that's involved afterwards, to get things uploaded properly onto YouTube, is not the best use of my time. Hey, Amy. Share it on Facebook. Yay! Watch the replay on YouTube. Still voting for starting on the half hour. You know, maybe we'll do that next week. This week I wanted to figure out this new software program using OneStream. And actually using Mob Crush which was I was figuring out last week. And I found out that when I was going live, I was also going live on Twitch, on my Twitch channel. And not that I'm a gamer or anything, but other people use Twitch besides gamers. And I found out that there's some funky firewall that exists to my Twitch page. So it was throwing everything else off on my software. So that took 2 days to figure out. And actually, I didn't figure out, I Googled it. And it's some little quirky thingy that with some people's firewalls. And then there's this long workaround that you have to try. And some people it works and some people it didn't. And so I said, you know what? I'm just not going live on Twitch. So I just dumped that social media channel. Because my people aren't really on Twitch anyway. But I considered it as an option. I had a coach a couple of years ago that was like, oh yeah, you got to be on all the platforms. And I get like 0 views on Twitch, so I'm not really worried about it. But so anyway, I learned Mob Crush last week, working on OneStream this week, which is a little bit more user intuitive, which is nice. So we'll just do it one step at a time. So maybe next week we'll just move to 9:30 and see how it goes, and just give it a go, and see how it turns out for people. The thing I do like about Mob Crush is that I have one chat window, and I can just look at that one chat window and I can see all the comments from all the places. So yesterday, when I uploaded the wrong video, and we were live on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. It was supposed to go on Periscope and it didn't, and I don't know why. I'm not really worried about it too much. So, hey Liz, just do 5 because you know you want to. Yeah, but you, like me, have to be reined in. I know. Yeah, well, I figured lunch yesterday. I didn't think it was lunch today, Rex. But yeah, it's I do, but I just know I have to be logical about it and realize that my time is limited. There's only 24 hours in the day, and sometimes I act like there's 48 hours in a day, and then I don't do and get done what I want done. Now you're on your phone, so I can be part of the before chat. Yay! Yay! Okay, looking at numbers, seeing where we're at on the 2 different platforms. Just seeing, and it's not showing me over here because I don't have that window in the proper location, so that's okay. Not as many on YouTube this morning. Normally we have more people on YouTube watching than we do on Facebook, so to each his own. Also, don't forget the Café Club. If you're in the Café Club, remember that all of your bonus materials are currently in there. So make sure that you take a peek inside, because there's some new bonus materials that are added for every show. So make sure you take a look at that. Okay. Alrighty. It's time for us to fade to black, for me to pull up my notes and start talking about self-esteem. What's more important, self-esteem or something else for long-term happiness and success? Well, especially for women, they found out that one thing is far more important than the other. So today we'll talk a lot about self-esteem and the alternative that's even better on this morning's Coffee with Colleen. Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Colleen. If this is your first time watching, I am Colleen Hammond. I am a former on-camera meteorologist for the Weather Channel, turned image consultant, coach, and mentor. I like to teach women not to be beautiful only on the outside, but from the inside out, and let you know that who you are is enough. So I'm glad you joined us today. If that type of information is useful for you, make sure you click follow if you're watching on Facebook or on Instagram. And if, of course, you're on YouTube, just click the subscribe button and click the bell so you'll know that we're coming out with videos almost every day a week now. And the efforts of helping, I want to be the #1 resource for women to help empower you and help you grow. So today we're going to talk about self-esteem. And if it's so important to love yourself, like Stuart Smalley, doggone it, I love myself. And it depends on how you do it, frankly. So it's been a hot button topic, especially as it relates to emotional intelligence. And if you've taken my emotional intelligence course or you're in on any of those, you do, realize the importance of self-esteem. But do we place too much emphasis on it, almost to the point of narcissism? It's been a very, very popular concept in psychology recently and the past few decades. So let's take a look at self-esteem as it relates to poor mental health, because low self-esteem does relate to more incidences of mental health disorders, suicide attempts, lack of socially supportive relationships. Researchers also have found that trying to artificially improve your self-esteem is actually damaging because it comes with its own set of problems. That, like I mentioned, the tendency toward narcissism, antisocial behavior. Let me see what else was there. And avoiding challenging activities. They may threaten our idea of self, our self-concept, our own identity, like who am I and who do I want my future self to be? So focusing solely on self-esteem does come with its own set of problems. So researchers for years have been trying to figure out, okay, which direction do we go? We know self-esteem is important and we're trying to build people's self-esteem, but it doesn't seem to be working for not everybody. So why is that? And so you had one camp of self-esteem practitioners that said self-esteem is really, really important and that's the only thing we have to focus on. And the other side said, self-esteem is overrated. You have to be realistic about who you are. And not, engage in these self-talk things. That's just a waste of time. You just have to be realistic about who you are. But this researcher now, Dr. Kristen Neff, who's now the leading researcher in all of this, has suggested and proven, especially I'll talk about one of the studies that she did this past year or 2 years ago that was released this past year, that building self-compassion is far more important than focusing solely on self-esteem for long-term mental health and success, especially for women. So why is this whole idea of self-esteem alone bad or flawed or not working? Well, the way psychologists have really dealt with it is talking about internal dialogue, your self-talk, how you speak to yourself. And one of the methods is to counter that thought with a positive thought. It's like, I'm having this negative thought, so I need to reframe it and say it in a more positive way, or just stop the thoughts, or I need to deflect and divert my thoughts. And actually what they found is those techniques weren't working very well, because a lot of people were focusing on the idea that they were having this negative thought that they were having. They were giving so much attention to the negative thought and getting so worked up on it that they acknowledged it. They saw it as real as opposed to the inner critic who's just the mean girl saying mean things to you, right? So that's why fighting that thought really increased its believability. So the more people were thinking about the negative thought, the more they believed it. And your brain, we've talked about this before, your brain is dumb. It only knows what you tell it. So let's say you have the thought, or let's talk about your children too, because a lot of the study I'll talk about in just a minute was on ninth graders. So you have this thought, there's something wrong with me. So the old rhetoric way of really focusing on that was to take that thought seriously and counteract it. But what you're doing is confirming the thought is real, as opposed to recognizing the thought for what it is, just like recognizing, like, well, that's a weird thought, right? So by countering it, you acknowledge that something's wrong, that I need to change. I'm having this thought, there's something wrong with me. That means I need to change. Well, I better change my self-talk because there's something wrong with me. No, that's just a thought. It's just like if you've ever taken any of the courses in counseling and marriage and relationships where feelings are neither right or wrong, they simply are. Sometimes you have this feeling and it's because of something that happened to you when you were younger, or so just acknowledging the feeling for what it is. It's just a feeling. The feeling isn't right or wrong. It's what you do with it. It's the same with your thoughts. The thought itself is not right or wrong. It's like you look at it and go, and it's what you do with it. So if you acknowledge something's wrong with you and you have to change, every time you have that thought and fight against it, it's like the noose is getting tighter and tighter around your neck, right? So the more you fight it, the more power you're giving it. So you can't prevent yourself from having the thought. It's like I would say to you, don't think about a pink elephant with purple spots that's sitting on a tree branch outside your window. I don't want you to think about that elephant with the spots that's sitting on the tree branch, perched on the tree branch, singing a song like a bird right outside your window. So don't think about that elephant with the spots on it. What are you thinking about? Because you keep giving so much attention and credibility to the thought, you're thinking about an elephant with spots on the branch. Why isn't the branch breaking? Why is it singing like a bird? Elephants don't sound that way. So you can't prevent thoughts from happening. Again, it's what you do with it. So yeah, we're all going to feel inadequate. We're all going to have these feelings at some time. We're all going to feel a sense of social rejection, family problems. We're going to have personal failures. We're going to have, etc. And if you don't have those feelings, that's where we're talking about narcissism and other personality disorders, right? Because it's part of the human experience to actually have those thoughts. So what we can do is respond to them differently. And the way we do that is with self-compassion. So let's talk about self-compassion. What is it? There's Dr. Kristen Neff has defined 3 key components of self-compassion. Treating oneself kindly, recognizing that your struggles are what everybody's going through. It's part of the human experience. We all have these thoughts and feelings. And then having those thoughts and feelings, don't acknowledge, negate, counter them. Just kind of go, acknowledge them, just kind of be aware of them, but don't get caught up in them. Don't feel like you have to fight against them and focus too much on them. They're just things that make you go, right? So looking at it from a self-compassion point of view, it's not important if that thought is a positive thought, a negative thought, or whatever. It's how you respond to it. So we'll go back to the same thing we talked about before. There's something wrong with me. So instead of fighting against it or distracting yourself or coming up with a counter argument or sentence to go against that, just be mindful of it and go, bet you I'm not the first person that's ever thought that. Interesting. And then treating yourself kindly. It's okay if I had that thought. I choose not to do anything with it. I'm going to ignore it and do something productive in my life. And using some of the techniques we've talked about in some of the previous videos and shows on self-compassion. So does that work truly as opposed to just self-esteem? Actually, yeah. This Dr. Neff has done a lot of studies on it. So let me talk about this study. It was a longitudinal study of almost 2,500 ninth grade students. And they divided them into groups. They had the control groups and, all that kind of stuff. And I won't get into the details of the entire study of what they did and how they did it. You can look it up. I can give you the link, whatever. But what they found was the students that they taught over this year-long study, the students that they taught self-compassion techniques and strategies, it didn't matter what their level of self-esteem was. If they were learning and practicing self-compassion techniques, they were happier, they were mentally more stable, their grades were better, their social relationships were better. Everything straight across the board was better for students that were taught self-compassion, regardless of their level of self-esteem. So they could have had a low level of self-esteem or a high level of self-esteem, but it was their self-compassion that set them apart on their mental stability, their grades, their social relationship, compared to the peers who didn't have those and weren't taught those same skills. So I'll talk about it just briefly on self-compassion, but again, go back and watch some of the previous videos that we've done in this series. You just have to learn to be less attached to your thoughts, recognizing that having the thought doesn't make the thought real. Just like experiencing a feeling doesn't make it real. Your brain is dumb. It only knows what you tell it. You just kind of go, and then you respond to that thought with kindness and compassion, like you would to a 5-year-old, like you would to an 8-year-old, like you would with your best friend. So we don't have to keep thinking that, okay, I'm an adult now. I have to be mature. I have to be functional in society. I have to be successful. I have to be, perfectly put together. Let go of those ideas of perfection. Let go of those ideas of, I have to be this, I have to be that. And a lot of times those are external as opposed to intrinsically internal. And besides, when you're thinking those types of thoughts, they're toxic and they lead to narcissism. And this ego-based self-story about self then eventually blows up in your face. So instead of focusing on self-esteem content, contextualize self-compassion. So deflate rather those ego type self-stories. Accept the fact that you're human. Everybody has thoughts. Everybody has these thoughts. It's part of being a human being. It's part of the human condition. And so when you have moments of self-doubt, yeah, we all fail. We all suffer. We all have these thoughts, and that's okay. You can still live a life of meaning, purpose, compassion, success, happiness, joy, fulfillment, based on how you're treating yourself and you treat the others around you. And when you treat yourself with self-compassion and you teach your children to treat themselves and others with compassion, that's a real skill that they will have with them for the rest of their life, and hopefully will be able to pass on to those around them as they go through life so that other people can be happier too. So I hope that was helpful for you. Next time we'll dig a little bit deeper and talk more about some of these ideas of self-compassion, self-esteem, self-worth, self-efficacy, and other things that relate. Now, again, if you are a member of the Café Club, you will get the notes that will be located in your membership area, and that will be there later today. And if you're not a member of the Café Club, make sure you check out this page right here, and we'll put that page in the chat area of how to become a member of the Café Club so that you will get a copy of all the notes and all the bonus materials that go along with the shows. Plus quarterlies, depending on your level, you will get quarterly gifts mailed to you directly from me too. So actually a real live, honest to goodness thing in the mail, not a JPEG or a badge or something. So, all right. Well, we'll see you inside the cafe, and I'll see you next time on Coffee with Colleen. Take care. God bless. Love you, and I mean it. Bye. There we go. Trying to take some very complex ideas and break them down into real simple thoughts, kind of hard sometimes. And that was one of them. So, okay, phone. On Facebook, I can only see your comments on other people's. When I type comments, I can't see or hear you. Ruth, it's interesting because I was watching this gentleman that I follow, Jason, yesterday. And the same thing happened. I was trying to have conversation with him, and I couldn't get it to post below the video. It was like I would type and it would be grayed out and it would show up, and anytime I hit enter or send or tried to do it, it just wouldn't. So I just sent him a private message. I said, I don't know what's going on, but I just couldn't comment whatsoever. It was really bizarre. So it's the same way with our understanding of time. That sounds like a very deep comment, Rex, but I don't know what I was saying at the time in the video when you replied that way. Good morning, Colette. There you are. There's the missus. Love you back. There's Carrie. I keep getting stopped from the video on YouTube. How bizarre. And Kathy, let me see. Kathy said her video keeps stopping too. Thank you for the sweet little bag you sent. You're very welcome, Fiona. Yeah, you get a physical thing in the mail. It's pretty cool. I look pretty this morning. Thank you. I appreciate that. Some of my favorite colors. So, let me go ahead and move this out of the way. Move that out of the way. Move that out of the way. This is why it's important to have lots of screens. I have lots of things up that I'm looking at. Yeah, and it's funny because somebody just commented and it had Tina's picture on it, but somebody else commented. It was somebody else's name, but Tina's picture. How bizarre. Yeah, just never know. So anybody got any special plans today or any comments, concerns, any disagreements? Was it clear the difference between self-esteem? Not that self-esteem is to be ignored, and that's what I'm trying to get across. Your self-esteem matters, but what's more important is what you're doing with those thoughts and how you're acknowledging them and what you're doing with them. So, yeah, I couldn't get actually the lashes wouldn't stay on today, Liz. Thanks. I love my lashes. I didn't even get mascara on this morning. Not sure why. I know why. I was making my tea. I got in pretty late last night too. And dealing with my daughter's birthday and all. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. So, and now I know Mob Crush doesn't let me. Well, that was the other thing I learned about Mob Crush. That I can't schedule in advance more than one video at a time. So my Mondays and Wednesdays that I do through Mob Crush, I can only do Monday, and then when I'm done with Monday's broadcast, then I can schedule Wednesday's broadcast. So this morning's was actually deleted because I did Mondays and Wednesdays, and then I went to do Monday's show, and Monday's show wasn't there. So then I had to do Monday's show, which deleted Wednesday's show. So then when I went back to do it this morning, Wednesday's show wasn't there, so I had to redo it all for. Talk about a waste of time. Explain the difference between self-love, the saints born agains, and good self-love. It's basically narcissism, Colette. It's what we're talking about. It's like there's two different kinds of pride. You know, when they say, oh, pride is bad, pride goes before the fall. But there's a sense of, I did a good job and I feel good about it. There's that personal pride, that satisfaction with a job well done. And being proud of the good work you did, as opposed to being a proud person. It's the same thing with self-love. Is it a lack of charity? So then we get wrapped up in narcissism, and we're only concerned about self, and we're not concerned about how our thoughts, how our words and our actions impact those around us, because there's that sense of narcissism, and also a sense of control and controlling others. So. That's where the accomplishment versus pridefulness, exactly, Fiona. So, yeah. I was going to say, I don't think I commented recently, perhaps a different Rex. It could be. I look great no matter what. Thanks, Liz. I found it very helpful, especially for my son who has scrupulosity. Yeah, there you go. Yep. Yeah, because scrupulosity is a huge sin, and people don't realize that. And I got caught up in scrupulosity for a while. And it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. You know, so so once you've been through it and you've kind of worked through the whole scrupulosity thing yourself, it's easier to recognize it in other people. So, you know, that's a good thing too. Yeah. Interesting. So a friend of mine just texted me who hasn't commented, but I'm looking at Mob Crush has the joint window of everyone's comments, and I'm responding to people's comments. And a buddy of mine texted me and said, okay, I'm on this particular platform, and the comments that you're saying people are making are not the ones that are showing up on Facebook. Yeah. So it sounds like I'm saying, yeah, Fiona, I agree, when actually it wasn't Fiona that made that comment, it was somebody else. So now I'm looking at the different things. So yeah, technology. Gotta love it. Gotta hate it. Sometimes it works. Recently, it doesn't seem to be working, especially when it comes to Facebook. I've had some really quirky things happening on Facebook the past few weeks, few months really, but especially the past few weeks. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. But yeah, so yeah, what's up today for you? I've got a huge day today because I've got, of course, the training, the private training for the members of the Lifetime Capsule Wardrobe program. And quite frankly, because of my daughter's birthday yesterday, I was gone from 1 o'clock on and didn't get a lot of things done that I wanted to. Got a lot done in yesterday morning, but not what I really wanted to get accomplished for the rest of the day today. And then for, to do the things that I need to do for today. And then I got a huge call today at 3. I got that thing tonight with the Capsule Wardrobe people at 7. Got a meeting with Michelle in basically half an hour, not even. So yeah, another big day today. Okay, and I just got a text saying I'm going live right now. Okay, I've been live for half an hour. And so that's a bit of a problem. Wow. Unbelievable. Okay, well, it is what it is. But tomorrow's topic is what was supposed to be yesterday. So tomorrow's topic is the top 10 things that I have found out about capsule wardrobes that really change your life. So that was supposed to be the topic yesterday, and I uploaded the wrong video. And initially I thought, because I do MKV files, just because I find them more stable, they work, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, so then I thought, oh, it must be because that one stream in particular only accepts MP4 files. So I went back and converted it to an MP4 file. And then I went to upload it again, and it said accepted formats, MP4, MKV. Oh, wait a minute. So why didn't that work? So I tried to do it again, and it didn't accept the MKV. It uploaded a different one. It uploaded the MP4 that was above it on my desktop. So I thought, well, why did it randomly pick its own file to upload? So then I thought, well, maybe it's a problem with my mouse. Maybe I'm clicking on it. I'm thinking I'm clicking on it. I'm clicking on a different one. So I reformatted my mouse. And then that, and then I wasn't sure. So then I converted the file from an NKV to an MP4. And I didn't like it as much because the quality's less on the MP4. So then I went back and tried to upload the MKV again, and it uploaded just fine. So I'm not quite sure what happened. But I do know that when I clicked on it the other day, it just uploaded the file that was above it, which was from like 2-3 weeks ago. So Cindy Lou was like the first one that said, this looks, I said, wait a minute, this is the wrong video. And she was like, yeah, it looked familiar. And everybody else was commenting, you know what? This was such a good show. I could use the replay. This is actually, and everyone stayed through the whole thing. So I was watching the numbers, and the numbers went down by one person. So it stayed true through the whole show. So that was kind of funny. The gremlins are out in force today. Seems like it. Yesterday was your son's 21st birthday. There you go. Yeah, well, we celebrated my daughter's birthday yesterday. Her birthday was actually last week. But just because of, family, my kids are all adults now, and they have different work schedules, and they're all going in different directions. So we just found the best day to celebrate was yesterday. We do our big family dinners on Tuesdays now instead of Sundays, just because everyone's going in a different direction. Technology can be frustrating. Yeah, it can be, Ruth. It's like, you love it, but you hate it. Sometimes it works. Most of the time it seems to work, but when it doesn't, boy, it takes up hours of time trying to figure out what's wrong. But as far as I'm concerned, it's worth the time to figure out, especially when you pay for the software, you want it to work. And I try to figure out, okay, first of all, was it human error? Was this something I did on my end? And I didn't double check the file. So it was ultimately my fault. Yeah, the wrong file uploaded, and I finished work and everything else, and I programmed it to go to all these other social medias. I wrote the thing, I put the thumbnail in, I did all that, but I didn't check the file name. I didn't double check that I just assumed I clicked on the right file. The right file would certainly upload, but I just didn't double check it. So no big deal. My fault. Won't do it again. Opened our headquarters Monday. Oh, wow. So running back out there today, make sure the volunteers are all set, and then recruit some more. Go knock on some doors there, Fiona. Jeez, you're amazing. But yeah, so I got another big day ahead again today, and looking forward to launching the Style Academy. Have I talked about that yet? We're still nailing down a date. Spoke with somebody else yesterday that is an expert in the field who gave me some very good advice. Not exactly what I wanted to hear, but it was a paid consultation, and the person very much knows what they're doing, and I needed some help. And sometimes you just gotta suck it up and pull some money out of savings. But anyway, so very excited. The Style Academy is up and coming. It's coming either first, second, and possibly third, but I don't think I want to wait until the third week of September. But this particular person said I really should wait until later, but I'm not going to do that. YouTube app stopped again for Ruth, so she went back over to Facebook. Isn't that funky? Yeah, a lot. The numbers are really down on YouTube this morning. So you know what? It's good that you have an option that you can bounce back and forth, and you can have that option. And that's the other thing I like about multi-streaming like this. If there's a problem with the Facebook and it's not flowing and it's not working very well, then you can just pop over to YouTube. And some people like Stacy couldn't figure out, she went over to YouTube and couldn't find the comment, not figure out, she couldn't find the comment section. Well, normally the comment section is to the right of the video. And I noticed this, I was watching somebody else on Facebook the other day, and I had my browser opened all the way across the screen, because normally if you scrunch your screen down, the comments will go below the video. And I'm over on YouTube right now, and I'm using a full 20, huge screen, and I've got it all the way out. Okay, it's on the, it's underneath. So it's low on the right, and I'm using the whole blasted monitor. And I've got a huge widescreen monitor. Matter of fact, I could expand it over into that monitor too. But the comments are in the lower right, so I don't get it. I don't know why it just kind of bounces back and forth, but that happens. But yeah, so the Style Academy is coming, and we are ramping up, and I've got things I'm still narrowing down on some dates. That's why I really wanted this consultation yesterday, because I'm still, there's so many things that need to be done. And every expert I've talked to said, you have to have a project management list and break it down into 15-minute tasks and that kind of stuff, not do graphics, graphics, and then you have to detail underneath exactly which ones need to be done and all that kind of stuff. So it's a huge long list, and it's taken a lot of time to write it all out, and kind of hit the wall. And I thought, I really want to talk to this person because I very much respect them and want their input. And nothing will make my spine jiggle more than when people say, can I take you out for a cup of coffee and pick your brain? Because to me, that's like, I want a free consultation. And I think your time and your information is worth, I don't know, about a $5 Starbucks. And I don't mind throwing a little bit of information and helping people out here and there, but you want me to get in the car, drive, meet you someplace, have a cup of coffee that you'll pay the $5 for, and get a free consultation and pick my brain. So anyway, so I reached out to this person and I said, I want to pay you for your time, for your input on this. And they graciously gave me more time than I paid for, because they were so grateful that I didn't say, can I pick your brain? Because it's somebody I know, but not like on a peer level, far more successful than me, far, far, far more successful than me, and somebody that I know pretty well. And I've helped in the past with other things like image and photographs and how to take the picture, how to do this, how to do that. But I just didn't feel for the level of information that I really wanted in the amount of time I wanted. So it was very worthwhile. Anyway, alrighty. Well, we're going to wrap it up for today. We're at a half an hour. And actually, it's more like 45 minutes. Can you hear that? Oh, man. Oh, you know what that is? That's my watch. My watch is rattling. I was going to say, normally my phone doesn't rattle like that. That's pretty funny. All right, so I'm going to pop on out of here. I want to prep for this call with Michelle coming up and get my information ready for her. And got a lot going on today. All good, all good. Very excited. And very excited to reach out. I'm going to be reaching out on the next day or two to the people who are involved in the beta program. I have somebody that I interviewed the other day, and then somebody I'm speaking to this afternoon that I would like to hire and bring on the team to handle one portion of the launch. So yeah, pretty smart gal. I want the gal yesterday, but I think this gal today might work too. You're very welcome. Thanks for the prayers, Colette. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for all you do. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. You too, Kathy. All right, let's get on out of here and make it a great day. Remember, I love you. I mean it. I'm glad you're here. Couldn't do it without you. And it just makes my day to come back and be able to be with my friends on a morning. And that's why we jumped to 2 times a week, and now we'll be doing 5. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning, same time, same place, on both Facebook and YouTube. And we'll also be on Instagram and Periscope and Twitter. And one of these days, LinkedIn will let us have an RTMP too. So that'll be nice. All right. Take care. God bless. Love you. Bye.